Welcome to Education Today. I'm Michaela Lux of Armstrong High School in the Armstrong School District. Over the last few years, we've brought in various teachers to talk about grants they were awarded to put new and innovative ideas into the classroom. Tonight continues that topic here at Education Today. These grants are made possible through the ASD Foundation, and we are joined by the teacher who wrote tonight's featured grant. Welcome to Education Today. Would you please tell us about your current roles with the district and how long you've been teaching?
Yes, my name is Todd Stovall. My current role is Transition Coordinator for Armstrong School District. I've been with Armstrong for 8 years and about 19 years overall in education.
Ms. Bowser, Mr. Landstrom, how long have you been in the school district?
I've been in Armstrong for 15 years and teaching for 17.
And this is my 10th year teaching and in the district for life skills.
What is the name of your grant and when was it awarded to you?
It's the Hawk's Nest Coffee Shop slash Snack Shop. It was awarded, I believe, over the summer, at some point last summer.
What kind of grant did you apply for and what students were impacted by it?
We applied for the district-wide grant, and the rationale for that was based on the fact that our life skills program is housed here at Armstrong Junior Senior High School, and that serves students from all over the district-wide. So the benefit was, they're the primary beneficiaries of the grant, and that's who we thought would be best served, and that's why we did district-wide.
Could you tell us a little bit about the grant that you wrote?
The grant was written mostly to cover startup costs with regard to permanent equipment, uniforms, those types of things. The type of equipment that will last and be used for a number of years. So it's a good return on investment.
Did you two help him write the grant?
We did, yeah. It was a collaborative effort between all of us.
How did you come up with this idea?
The coffee shop sort of started from a newspaper article. At some point, our boss happened to catch his attention. He sent it to us, and I had already been in contact with the transition coordinator for another school district, Seneca Valley, and they had already established a coffee shop. So we got a trip together, and the three of us traveled to Seneca Valley to look at their coffee shop and more or less try to mimic some of their ideas and get the best things that they were doing and apply them here to help us get off the ground in a quick and efficient way, and it really paid off well.
Yeah.
We had always been looking for something like this that we'd be able to do in-house at the school. Melissa and I had talked before about writing a grant for something, so whenever the coffee shop idea came to fruition, it was just, we thought, perfect idea,
Yeah, I really like the idea, like getting coffee in the mornings and stuff. What students and programs are affected by this grant?
Mostly the life skills students are probably, I would say, the primary beneficiaries of it. They're learning real employability skills that are transferable to jobs that exist in the public today, even down to the point of sale system, operating the computer to make sales, working the different machines. So but also there's student volunteers that come and help out with the coffee shop, just across the spectrum of different students. So it's a win-win for everybody that walks through Armstrong High School.
And these are skills that we try to teach in the life skills classroom. In an isolated area, you don't have the social skills that come with working with a general public or the unpredictability of what can happen. So you can teach someone in a classroom how to use a cash register. You can't teach them what someone's going to hand them or what they're going to say. And those are things you can't mock up. And then we have kids ready to go to work, and you put them in a situation, and it's very overwhelming.
Yeah. How do you find people to volunteer for it besides the life skill kids?
It was mainly a scheduling issue. Students who were available, either with a study hall or an academic support class, periods 1 through 3. That's who we targeted first, and then talking to other teachers in the building, they were able to give us some kids that they thought would work well in this situation, that could benefit from the experience.
Yeah. Have you noticed a difference in the students' learning as far as picking up on concepts more quickly or things related to that?
We've noticed a big difference already. We're not even halfway through the school year. We had a student already this year who has been volunteering with us, and he was able to get some of the job skills necessary to go train at Long John's. He applied for a job at Long John Silver's, and he was able to tell them, well, I've been practicing on a cash register, I know point of sale system, I've been filling orders, customer service, everything that we try to cover, he was able to say, I have experience with. So he got the job, and it's worked out well.
Yeah, it's good. That's kind of stories that we love. That's that's the point.
Really
you know, it's great stuff.
What was or is the biggest benefit to having this grant awarded?
Well, the biggest benefit is, again, for the practicing of the employability skills. The benefit to the students who are able to volunteer and work with students of various abilities also is a really good part of the process. And as Mr. Landstrom said, real examples of students who have been able to take those skills and use that as references and interview points to get jobs. So, and also the benefit of the students who are able to take advantage of the coffee shop each and every morning by coming and getting their coffee or their cappuccino, hot chocolate, tea, and some of the other things that are available there. The interactions, like as Mrs. Bowser pointed out, with the general students and learning the proper skills with regard to handling customer service. So it's been great.
And it gives us the opportunity to have support with them, which we wouldn't. The kids that leave and go get a job will be ready to do that more independently, where we have the opportunity to have a paraprofessional or a student helper or one of us with a kid in there to guide them through and get them through those bumps. So hopefully they can go more independently into the actual workforce.
What kind of research or work will students need to complete to work through this grant?
Let me give that to you guys, kind of like their job descriptions, I'm thinking.
We have about 4 jobs that the students try to cycle through and learn. We're trying to base it on like a 9 weeks or semester sort of training period. So coming up to the semester point in January, some of them will be starting a different position within the coffee shop. Research-wise, there's not a whole lot, but it's just learning the new job. It takes some time for the kids to catch on to some of the things. But we've had success. There's students we didn't think would be able to learn the cash register, which is probably the hardest job we have down there. But we have them meeting success, which is the end goal.
Right.
Well, and each child has their own individual education plan. So we look to meet some of those goals. So when we're looking at how they're doing, even if they still need support, maybe it's not as much support. So maybe we've moved from someone that needed 10 verbal prompts to get through completing an order to someone who just needs a nonverbal pointing to where they're at. And that's a huge success for us. So I mean, each child has a different level or goal of success. For some of those kids, it's just being in that environment and tolerating the environment. So those are huge steps for them. They might look like baby steps to everyone else, but they're huge steps that their goals are being met and they're becoming more independent.
Okay. What were or are your goals with this grant?
Well, as we've stated a number of times, I think obviously the job skills that the students are able to learn and practice and master working through the levels, because some jobs, like you said, are harder. If you care to add anything.
Employability.
Right,
That's the end goal.
End of the goal.
Well, and it's become like another perk that they're developing a circle of friends or a friend system from being in there. And again, you have some support. So they know kids that they can trust and call friend now, and they're just becoming more familiar with the kids in the general population in the school. And it's nice to have a paraprofessional or one of us right there to guide that relationship as it develops.
And you see excitement. I think, like, even when in the classroom, the students that are that coming out of their shell, so to speak, that want to go down there, grabbing the apron is what I've seen myself in your classroom. So it's certainly been a strong motivator for them too.
Now, how difficult would this project have been to execute if you weren't granted the grant?
I would say it wouldn't have been possible.
No?
Very difficult.
the machines themselves are probably the greatest cost. So without the money that we were awarded to be able to purchase them and not be in debt right off the bat, that was probably the biggest benefit that we've had. I don't think it would be possible.
No, it would have been very difficult. They're commercial quality machines, which is what you need, and they're going to last a very long time. It's a hope, of course. So that there's a cost to that, but it made it a lot easier. And I know there's a section, but we have to thank people in the food service like Lou Ann Fee and others who certainly helped in getting us going. But the grant was a tremendous help.
Is there anything else that we may not have covered related to this grant or process that you'd like to share?
Well, this is where I would say, we want to thank the different people who helped us along the way.
Yeah, it's been a team effort from the start. Matt Pock, Mike Glue, the directors of special ed, Lou Ann Fee in food service, Teresa Perry in food service as well.
Administration here, principals, Jim Rummel, Mr. Lorigan, Mr. Cominos, all helped out.
That was probably one of the biggest challenges too, is getting everybody on the same page, scheduling the meetings.
And just the students supporting it.
Yeah.
Because you can't predict what that was going to be like. We couldn't predict how responsible kids we were going to be.
Yeah.
Were kids mature enough to have this?
Yeah.
And we haven't had a whole lot of.
Yeah, it seems to be going pretty good.
There's been they're supporting it and being mature enough about it that it's not causing a lot of headaches for administration, and that helps.
Right, absolutely. I think we had some equipment issues in the beginning, and we've got those are resolved now. So your cappuccinos and hot chocolates are hot and real. So come on back if you were getting cold. We got that fixed, and that helped with grant money as well. And I don't know. I can't think of anything else. We don't want to miss anybody, but it was definitely a collaboration of a lot of people, and we can say collectively that the support and endorsement we've gotten even here at Armstrong is phenomenal. So it was destined for success and continue on.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back with Armstrong School District's Education Today. Stick around.
It's hard to explain. It just became home. There are hundreds of majors and programs, bachelor's degrees to PhDs, small classes and faculty that really get to know you. Amazing internships and everywhere, programs that help to find a job that is right for you. It's what IUP is about, a commitment to your success. See it for yourself. Visit us, Indiana University of Pennsylvania. Find your success.
Hi, I'm Jen McCroskey. I'm a prevention specialist with the Armstrong Indiana Clarion Drug and Alcohol Commission. Hey parents, put your drug knowledge to the test. Attend a free teen scene program. Learn about signs and symptoms of drug use and abuse, current drug trends, resources for help, and view a large display of items where drugs can be hidden. For more information, call 724-354-2746, extension 309 to schedule a program today. Brought to you by the Armstrong Indiana Drug-Free Communities Coalition.
All your professors, all of them, they know that all it takes is one dreamer with passion, one person, and they hope in each of you that you might be that one who makes a longer-lasting light bulb, who writes music for the ages, who reaches into the mind and discovers a new star, and who can change the world of a fifth grader. We're gathered here to hope in you.
Hello, I'm Cindy McCrae, Director of Arc Manor Addiction Recovery Center. Arc Manor is committed to confidential quality services 24 hours a day, including fully licensed residential, partial hospital, and outpatient treatment programs. With 39 years of experience in addiction treatment, Arc Manor puts an emphasis on the needs of special populations including women, co-occurring disorders, and adolescents. For more information, call 724-548-7607 or 800-323-1333. Brought to you by the Armstrong Indiana Drug-Free Communities Coalition.
We're back with Armstrong School District's Education Today. We're talking about the grants awarded through the ASD Foundation. Tonight's grant is about the new Hawk's Nest Coffee and Snack Shop located in Armstrong Junior-Senior High School. Is this grant a self-sustaining grant, or will additional funding from year to year be needed?
It is a self-sustaining grant. The coffee shop is able to be profitable, and the profits are shared with the life skills program for CBI, community-based instruction trips, and other items that may be useful for the classrooms. So it will turn a profit. It will be it is self-sustaining. Will continue to be.
What was the grant writing process like?
Well, myself, Mr. Landstrom, Mrs. Bowser, but I'll let them talk a little bit about it.
There were a lot of different parties involved with it from the beginning. We had to make sure that what we wanted to do was achievable, but also that we would be able to follow the food and nutrition guidelines, number one. That's why everything has to be sugar-free that we serve. We had to make sure that the principals were on board, to make sure that open container policy was going to be okay, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Mr. Stovall was helpful with the transition elements that are involved. Mrs. Bowser and I, and the cafeteria workers here at the school. So coordinating everybody's schedule at first was a little challenging, just to get our meetings set up and figure out what machines we wanted to order. Basically just starting from the bottom, figuring out where we wanted to go and what we wanted to serve, how big we wanted to make it. You can talk about the advice Seneca gave us.
Yeah, it was good to go there and see it up and running and in action, and stuff we liked and stuff we didn't like. And it was a major shift in our curriculum and what we did, because we could base what we would have before been mocking up as what our curriculum was. So vocabulary and words could be generated from the coffee shop, and the math skills are generated from the coffee shop, and their work and the social skills. So like that's all stuff we can see in action. So it changed our curriculum too, and how. So I think Mr. Landstrom and I were both at the beginning of the year a bit overwhelmed at what this was going to mean for us every single day, and what that was going to look like, and how we were going to constantly have support there for them. But it all came together.
I think with regard to the actual wording and writing of the grant, the challenge for us, I think, was we wanted to make sure we were casting the vision, what we saw for the benefit, that we were able to articulate that the ASD Foundation would see that and understand the purpose of what the grant was intended for, and thankfully they did.
Now at Seneca Valley, is their coffee shop also run by the life skills students there?
It is, yeah. Their teachers were very helpful over there. Like Mrs. Bowser said, they kind of showed us and guided us with how to set it up. They recommended start very small, start very simple, because as they pointed out to us, they made the mistake of adding some things very quickly, and it's just too much too soon, and they had some challenges that they shared with us, and we definitely appreciated that and learned from that. And
that was a great trip.
And our physical setup actually was ready for it. Like having that open window there, like we didn't have any of those difficulties that they had. They didn't even have a place to distribute. Where we were already set up to do that. So some of that stuff was
they were terrific.
Just a blessing that it was already in place.
Jessica Pyle was transition coordinator. She forwarded all the documentation they used and adjusted it to suit the Hawk's Nest needs. So thank you if they ever see it. They were very helpful.
Do you guys plan on continuing this after this year, like if it turns out to be a bigger success than it already is?
Oh my, yes.
Yes?
Yeah, it's one of those ongoing, like we'll look to this from year to year, and Mr. Landstrom and I will refine what we're teaching, and we have it nice because the students start with me and then they move to Mr. Landstrom's room. So there's a lot of information that can be shared, and tailoring their education programs, and then it's nice Mr. Stovall's in line to coordinate their next step in life, their transition into adult life.
One of the largest benefits this shop serves is it's an on-site training facility.
Yeah.
Transportation is extremely costly, and that was always the biggest hurdle we faced with training our students with job skills.
Yeah.
Armstrong County doesn't have a whole heck of a lot job training wise, but even if there was, the cost of transportation for them was exorbitant, and it wasn't sustainable most of the time.
It's a barrier for it.
Yeah.
For
So having this every day where they can just walk down the hall and they're there, you know,
On-site, yeah.
and it can involve every student we have.
Yeah.
That's huge.
I have a question for all three of you. What is each of your favorite parts of opening this coffee shop?
Oh, well, for me, it was the big vision, just like knowing there was something already in place in other school districts, and being able to see that, and then bringing something like that here. I mean, it was.
Yeah.
I was just super excited
Yeah.
from that point of view, for sure.
I'd say it gives a lot of meaning to the skills I'm teaching, and it gives me a lot of direction, and I can see firsthand this is something we have to focus in on. And when we're writing those IEPs and writing those goals for those kids, we can say, you know, this is what this looked like, this is where we need to get. It makes things real concrete, like I said, and moving away from mocking things up, where you can actually see the skills and the needs that we have and the strengths that we have is really changes the program.
I would say seeing success in some of the kids that you don't necessarily expect it from. Like I said earlier, there's some of them you wouldn't think would ever be able to do a point of sale on the cash register, and they surprise you, and you know they can.
Is there anything else either of you would like to add for the viewers?
Just come buy some coffee. You'll love it. Get some cappuccino.
Well, that's all for the show today. I'd like to thank our guests, Mr. Todd Stovall, Mr. Kevin Landstrom, and Miss Missy Bowser, teachers here in the Armstrong School District and one of the contributors of the Hawk's Nest Coffee Shop grant. Our thanks goes to the TV production students of Armstrong High School, led by their teacher, Mr. Don Swanson. They were our film crew today. Please join us again next week for another look at the Armstrong School District. Visit our website for updated information about the district, and have a great week.